first of all, I'm going to welcome back Alex and Elias from Green Modular Construction, and over to you to talk us through your approach to adaptations.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex.
Elias.
So I like that last picture you showed of the kind of Battle of the Somme and the water and the mess and what have you. So yes, we're GMC Solutions, and we set up a company to try and overcome that sort of problem. So basically, we set up 2 years ago with the focus on producing off-site modular extensions. So they're built in a factory, completely finished, and brought to site and craned into place. This allows for a kind of hassle-free experience for the client. We like to think it's hassle-free, and it's obviously a lot quicker than traditional construction. So our vision is, as you were saying, that the government is finding it difficult to keep up with producing the number of, not only houses, but DFGs. And we feel that we can plug that gap by making things quicker and more cost effective. So yes, we provide bespoke modular construction that gets craned in to the back of side or the back of the property, and we can do it in literally a quarter of the time.
So how we do it? Is the three processes. So it starts in the factory. So once all of the sort of planning stages are up, everything's decided with the client. Boys get to work in the factory. All our materials are sourced locally, and usually we'll have the stock for most of the things due to the timber frame the way we do it. Once we've built it, we'll go through the sort of speed and the build process later on. Once we've built it, truck comes to site, comes to the unit in Barry, picks it up in the morning, drives to the site with the crane. The crane then picks it up off the truck and puts it into wherever it's going, usually, as you said, back or side of the house. And usually we'll have this done by about lunchtime. The whole process on site for the install is usually about 2 to 2.5 hours by the time the crane's set up and set down, but usually the lift itself is only about half an hour. And then once it's in place, the final installation begins, which is usually about a week and a half, depending on if there's more groundsworks for us to do, for example, patios and stuff like that. But everything inside of it is already pre-fitted, so all the electrics, all the plumbing. So we'll have toilets on, sinks on, tiles, shower boards, whatever it is, flooring. So it's a case of just hooking it up to the house, and it's ready to go. So usually we can get a extension up and running within a day to 2 days, and then after that it's more making the opening with the house to sort of give that seamless look between the two, and then any groundworks and a bit of guttering and stuff like that.
That's the kind of typical bedroom wet room that we do, and you'll not be surprised that it's the standard wet room with kind of vinyl flooring, non-slip vinyl flooring lapped up the walls. We insulate our properties using a product called Super Quilt, which is a multi-layered thermal wrap, as you were. So not only is it better or more efficient than traditional insulation, it actually wraps the property, so it makes it airtight, again leading to better thermal performance.
A lot safer to install as well.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer to install than cutting up insulation boards. The externally, the finishes can be either render, cladding, brick slips, timber cladding, whatever, either your choice or what planning have deemed acceptable. Internally, flooring in the bedroom is, well, either luxury vinyl tile or carpet or laminate, and the wet room's obviously non-slip vinyl. The ceilings are constructed with solid timber joists, so if you require a hoist either at the time of the installation or later on, then these can be fitted as they would in a normal traditional extension. And then we can customize it to however you want. If you wanted a pitch roof, if you want solar panels, skylights, whatever, it's absolutely fine. It's the same as a traditional construction.
So benefits, this took a while to shorten because there's quite a lot over traditional construction and just in general. But a few of the benefits. So we have sustainability, much more sustainable. There's a lot less waste. A lot of our offcuts can be reused. Stuff isn't left on site. The weather doesn't dictate. A lot of our things are not going to get tools damaged, stolen, lost. They're all in the unit. They stay organized. A lot of our materials are sustainable as much as we can. The lifespan of the pods is at least comparable to traditional, if not more. As we say, they're completely sealed, they're completely tight, and well built. And you know what you're getting. Anyone can turn up at any point to our unit, and they'll see the exact same. There's nothing hidden, and yeah, you always know you're going to get the best. Recyclable. So yeah, a lot of our stuff is recyclable. We have recycling bins. We have a wood bin for people to take any excess wood that's available for firewood. So anything we can't use outside the unit, usually every week it's cleared. So any spare wood, that's not going in the skip. People are taking it. And also the whole pod's recyclable, which is something that we might go into if we've got time in later on. But essentially we can pick the extension back up from where it is and take it back to the unit and move it somewhere else. So we have one actually in the next few weeks for Cardiff Council, an end of life scheme where people come out of hospital, and instead of the money spent on hospital fees, which can get quite ridiculous if they're in there for months, we essentially can build multiple pods, store them, and then we get a week, 2 weeks, and all we need is that, get the grounds work done at the property, put it in. They have their end of life in a place that is, well, it's in their home and it feels like their home rather than any sort of care pod that you can get or in their living room or kitchen or something like that. It feels like their home, dignified way to die. Once they've passed or anything like that, then we can pick it back up, take it away, make good the ground that was there. We can have limited impact on the ground because we can use a foundation called ground screws instead of pads, which basically giant screws, so they can screw back off out of the ground, and it'll be like we've never been there. So that's something we're looking at doing. So the whole thing is recyclable. The carbon footprint is low. All of our workforce is local. Our materials, about 90% of them are in our industrial state. We use the builders merchants in our industrial state, all of the screw fixes, all of the local shops in our industrial estate for most of our stuff. Usually walk down there and grab them. As I said, weather isn't affected. There's fewer defects due to the weather. You're not going to get insulation that's soaking wet. You can sometimes see buildings as you drive past and their insulation is soaking wet because they haven't got time to finish it off. We never get any of that. One point of contact, chartered surveyor. So you're getting professional advice all the time. We meet or exceed, depending on England and Wales, the building regulations that are in place, for example, insulation values and everything like that. And we give comprehensive warranties and guarantees, 5-year structural, 18 months workmanship. The customization, as sort of alluded to in the previous slide, it's as bespoke as they come. You can have different things inside, different things outside. We've had different shapes. We've done L-shaped pods. We've done pods with cutouts, adaptations for disabled use. We've done ramps. We've done we have grab rails. We've got Geberit toilets. There's a whole any sort of disabled adaptation you need, we can add on to that. With him specializing in disabled adaptations as a child surveyor. Safety, again, you get the climate controlled environments. The boys will never get, wet, cold, ill, mud everywhere. And the hazards are much smaller. We have, equipment, we have platforms for working on, towers. You don't have uneven ground to work with on ladders. You can use a forklift for any major lifting. So there's a lot less chance of hazards, which in this industry is quite important. Transparency, fewer parties involved. So same team all the way through, single point of communication. So, any issues, you can contact us any point, and we'll get them sorted. You're not going to have excuses about, work overrunning and swapping between contractors because of disagreements. We haven't had that yet, and we don't hope to have it at any point in the future. And our costs, the costs a lot of the time with traditional costs, hidden costs can be a big thing and something that people are worried about with at the end of a job or midway through a job. All of these costs turn up that they hadn't accounted for, and the builder's saying, "Oh, well, it's got to be done. You've got half a building. What do you want us to do? You've got to finish it now, otherwise, you're going to have half a building out the side of your house." Because of the way we do it, because of the off-site nature of it, we're able to predict the costs a lot more accurately. It's basically the same every time, and you obviously don't get the half-finished product. You get it all in one. As we say, you can come down to the unit at any point. We've had clients come before they've had their extension. They've come during to have a look at it as it's being built. So you can see it all the way through. Same with councillors and all of that. Everybody can see it at any point. And then finally, due to the low carbon, how insulated they are, the running costs are low. They're very sealed. They're very warm, and they've got all of the sort of up-to-date measures to make sure that the ventilation is suitable as well. Speed is another point that I thought I'd make a different slide for. Speed is obviously one thing that a lot of people focus on and we focus on when we're doing our modular builds. So as you all probably know, traditional extensions can take a long time, an average of a few months at least, depending on time of year and everything like that. Our pods take 3 to 4 weeks to build from the start to the finish. We usually build the entire pod in about 2.5 to 3 weeks, and this is before we're able to even expand and get a bigger team. We're hoping in the near future, with a bit more workload, we can get that down to producing one a week. But at the moment, we're doing one every 3 to 4 weeks. So as you see from the bottom right, our timeline. So in the 4 weeks or so of construction, the groundsworks would be in the first week. So I'd have the groundswork team go prepare the foundations, anything else that needs to be sort of prepared. When it gets installed, you then get a week, 2 weeks afterwards, as I said before, making good. And then I'll come back sort of a week later, make sure the client's happy with everything. If they're not, we'll make sure anything they're not happy with is sorted. And if they are, then away we go. And that's all sorted, really. The final point is hassle-free. How hassle-free it is. We all want a hassle-free life. So hassle-free for the homeowner is invaluable because of the limited time on site. You don't have the mess, you don't have the disruption, you don't have the noise. So people that are working from home, especially where we've been able to help with a lot of DFGs, is we have a lot of cases where the kids have sensory problems or they have behavioral problems, fairly extreme disabilities, where they can't deal with the noise, the mess, and everybody in and out of the house. So it avoids having to relocate them for an extended period of time, which obviously costs quite a lot of money. And in some cases, they haven't had to relocate at all. And they've been able to go to a friend's house for a week or a family member's house for a week whilst we do the works. And then it's all done. So there's no extra cost for any of that disruption, which we found is completely unique to this level of work. It cannot be done with traditional, and it makes a big difference to some families, most families. For the council and client, as we've said, it's one party to deal with every time. The costs are fixed. The quality of the product is always the same. The transparency is something that we really want to press, because I think transparency is missing quite heavily in the industry. So as you say, you can always see what you're getting. You can always talk to us, and essentially we just want to take out that stigma of building where you don't want to get an extension because you're scared that the builders are going to mess you around, screw you over, all manner of things. And it's generally not a pleasant process to get any sort of building works done. But certainly from our sort of 2 years in business now, we've pretty much only had extremely positive feedback, and all the clients are saying they can't believe how easy it was, how nice the boys were on site, and how comfortable they felt throughout the entire thing. So that is us for today. I'd like to leave you a few photos to have a look at, and then I'll put on a screen where it shows our contact details if you have any more questions after this recording or anything like that. Our Instagram is probably the best place for a variety of photos. We upload, it's usually most of the pods we install, I will put the pictures of it. So that's the best place for that. The best place for information is probably the website, and I slack a little bit on LinkedIn, so maybe not look at that as much. So yes, I think that would be the contact details. So any questions that anyone has, feel free to fire away and we'll answer them.
Great, thank you both. I'll just leave those contact details up there a minute, then we'll give people a chance to note them down. We've got quite a few questions. Some of them I think were asked before you, and then you answered them while you were speaking. But there were a few questions around the groundworks in particular. So there's one from Carol, which is kind of typical in terms of, I guess, kind of the groundworks and what you do in terms of, I suppose, either moving drains or building over drains, or do you need a separate contractor? How do you approach the groundworks?
We have our own groundworks team. So again, we use the same team each time. And yeah, they do our foundations and the drainage.
So it's all the turnkey solution. Everything gets done in one. Yeah. Great. I suppose kind of there's another one. I suppose typical of local authority, also, I'm sure you'd expect. So kind of for the example you've shown, and I guess this would kind of vary depending on the specification and the finishes, and it links into one of the other questions about kind of where you serve in the country. But is it possible to kind of give us a flavour of the kind of the cost for that size and scale of extension?
So yeah, as you say, they can vary. Usually it's less so the variance of the pods, and it's more so a variance of the groundworks and the crane. So it's the distance to the house. Obviously, cranes generally aren't cheap, and the amount of groundwork that has to be done, extra works and stuff like that. But the usual sort of ballpark is usually between 40 and 55, I would say. That covers most of the pods, so that would cover sort of from a 3x4 usually up to the bigger 6x4s. As you say, sometimes they can come under that. If there's a small pod limited groundworks, they can come under that, and sometimes they go over that. There's a lot of external works, but usually they sort of fall between that ballpark. But that includes everything, as we say, turnkey solutions. So that's the crane, that's the groundworks, the electrics, the plumbing, the fittings inside of it. That's everything.
Great. And in terms of, I suppose, just kind of turnkey solution, do you handle kind of plans and planning permissions and building regs as well, or how's that handled?
Yes. So I'm a chartered building surveyor, so I've also got my own practice. So quite happy doing plans and getting the planning permission the local authorities and building regs and build over agreements and all the other things we need. But yeah, that's fine.
In terms of, you mentioned cranes, are there any kind of restrictions in terms of, I guess, kind of houses you can't get to, or what's kind of the restrictions around kind of cranes and
Not yet. Not yet. There's been some tight ones, but no. In terms of the reach, it's just get a bigger crane.
Yeah, how big's your crane?
How big's your crane? We did one last week, a few days ago now, 110-ton crane in Cardiff, and we have one sort of in planning that's about 40 meters, is it, away from the?
Yeah, well, it's a 2-story extension as well, and the front garden is 30 meters, and then you've got the house and behind the house and the bit at the front. So yeah, we're talking kind of between 40 and 50 meters away. So it pretty much covers everything.
Yeah, big crane. And then usually, it's more the roads and stuff like that. But generally, because we'll do, sort of road closures for each one. I'll hand out flyers to all the residents in the sort of surrounding houses the week before. We've never had any issues from any of the people. We'll barrier it all off, cone it all off. So usually, the area is safe. So it's only if there's cars in the way that can be a bit of a headache. But there's usually no sort of limitations. And then in terms of once it's being lifted, the sort of amount we have each side, we've truly tested to the max in terms of how much we can give someone in the size of their garden. And yeah, if you need a pod, I'd rather you not, but if you need one with that much space either side to the fence, we can do that, because it is pretty accurate once it's lowered down. So we have done ones that are very, very tight to the boundary, and yeah, everything's fine. So yeah, haven't really had any major crane hurdles so far. Definitely wind is our biggest enemy, but
I can imagine. So there's a couple of technical, I apologize, I don't think I'm going to get through all these questions. So hopefully Alex and Elias, you've got time afterwards maybe to pop into the chat and answer some of these. But we'll go on to a couple of the kind of few technical questions. So there's one around kind of extra support, where there's kind of bariatric kind of patients or clients potentially, kind of strengthening the floors. I guess kind of potentially the ceilings as well, maybe for hoists. Is it kind of any structural issues?
No, I mean, if this person knows about structures, our floor joists and ceiling joists are 200 millimeters of deep timbers. So that'd be fine for anything.
Both at 400 centers, and yeah, we do hoists quite regularly. And we've had a few, the sort of larger patients, and all of the sort of necessary, disabled adaptations for that. They're they can be lifted up and moved around on a crane. They're strong enough for any of those situations.
Great. There's one about nature won't be as good. And I think you were saying that they're better thermally than brick and block.
Yes, we exceed the building regs thermal resistance in England, because the Welsh, we're based in South Wales. The Welsh regs are actually more stringent than in England, but we build them to the Welsh regs wherever we are. So yes, because of we actually use 3 types of insulation on the walls, and so you won't get any mold or damp. And yeah, I mean, it is has a better thermal resistance than brick and block.
Great. So I'll just put 2 more up there. There's so many here, so we could be going all afternoon. But so in terms of lifetime and mortgageability, how long do they last? And are there any issues with people remortgaging after they bought one?
This is a trickier question than the majority. So as we said, the lifespan is at least comparable. The problem with getting a set, I'm struggling to find a sort of company that will do a set, lifetime warranty for the whole product. And with mortgage companies, because modular is quite new, it's basically sort of up to the mortgage advisor. But I'm finding through research that they're becoming more and more accessible, and it's generally not a problem. And we've had one recently where they've literally checked with their mortgage advisors.
And we
it's
have
absolutely fine
with a mortgage broker. He went out to I think it's the big 6 mortgage brokers he was talking about, and came back with that they were all quite happy to lend on it.
Great. Let me just put one. Lost the question I was going to. So there we go. Final one. So order time. So from kind of initial inquiry through to the start of building, how long would that typically take?
So it usually depends. It's quite swings and roundabouts in terms of, or ebbs and flows in terms of workload. But generally we manage it quite well. That once the order is placed, we get the go ahead. And there's no sort of things council side to figure out. Currently we seem to be doing sort of 1 to 1 to 1. So it's a matter of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The most it'll ever really be at this point in time is about 6 weeks. If we've got a few stacked. But yeah, usually at the moment, we'd start building between 2 to 6 weeks, and it would be then done, a few weeks after that. So we usually say 8-week all in, with fitting in with the other ones. You're only going to be waiting 2 months.
Great. Well, thank you both. I'd say there's still plenty of other questions in the chat. So if you're able to answer those, that'd be fantastic. But thank you for joining us this afternoon. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.